for opening, and then you're not gonna give a clue to do the click. After that, go for it.
Hey, I'm Tiff, just in case you don't know me, and we're going to be talking about traveling during coronavirus. Girl, dude, let me just tell you, it was terrible. Like, it was horrible, it was horrific. I was like, nope, that's all a lie. Actually, it went pretty well. Flying between, just let's say me personally, flying, it was around 2.5 hours from New York to Fort Lauderdale, Florida. It wasn't that bad. So let's start with what happens once you get there. So me personally, I am kind of a germaphobe, so I needed to have my mask on. I had a face shield. Please do not get on the plane. There's a siren. The po-po. Okay. So for me personally, I'm a germaphobe, so please do not get on the plane without a face mask. The face mask is required to enter any airport and to board the plane. It must be worn by all passengers. I went on JetBlue, so it needs to be worn by all passengers from 2 years old and above. But me personally, since I'm a germaphobe, I could not have my face mask on, and I had a face shield on just in case. You're allowed to, if you're actively eating or drinking on the plane, to remove your face mask temporarily, only actively eating or drinking, and then put it back on. But I wasn't taking any risk at the time because I did not get my vaccine at the time that I was flying at. So I just got a COVID rapid test, so I kept my face mask on and my face shield on, and I tested negative. But please, you must be aware that you can still contract COVID once on the plane. So I was not taking that risk personally. You can free to do you and do what you want to do. This is your life. For me personally, no. So once you enter the airport, you have to have a face mask on. You cannot have the face shield alone. If you have a face shield, you will have to have a face mask on. Okay, so I did forget to mention the type of masks that are approved on flights. You are not allowed to have a mask that has a valve. Okay, a valve that will let any particles or anything escape from that vent or that valve on the mask. They only allow fully covered masks. I guess you're free to do whatever, even if it's one of the gaiters, even though it's not the best face mask to use. But I typically, when I'm flying, I use an N95 or a KN95 mask because that allows fewer particles to enter and escape as well. So the N95 is what I would personally use while flying, just for extra protection, but some people do use the normal surgical grade mask, but I prefer the N95 or the KN95 just because I feel safer, or the surgical mask. But you can have any mask you want as long as it covers the nose and mouth and it does not have a valve while flying. So I had both on, entered the airport. Everyone seemed to have a face mask on since it is a requirement. We went through everything. You self-tag your bag, so that was fine. You do have to touch the touchscreen at JetBlue. They have lesser touch options. You're still gonna end up touching the screen, so I did have my hand sanitizer with me. And then going to security, you have to obviously have your passport and your ticket. Most of the times now they just look at the passport or your form of identification. But they do ask you to remove the face mask for a short, brief period of time just so they can see your face to see if it matches the image on your ID. So you have to take that off, put it back on. You go through security, you take out your electronics, everything like that. You will have to end up touching the bins and all of that, which is fine because you have your hand sanitizer and everything. Remove your shoes, go through security, and it's pretty much set. Once you're boarding the plane, they will make sure that you have your face mask on and they will board you by groups, which they usually do anyway. Then once you're on the plane, they will say, please do not remove your face mask. I personally felt safe traveling while flying, because that's the biggest thing. A lot of people were not feeling safe and they were too scared to fly. I personally felt safe. Now I had my first dose of the vaccine, so I feel safer. But personally, I felt safe while flying. But I made sure I sanitized everything. Even once I entered the plane, they used to on JetBlue, they don't really do it now, give packs with hand sanitizer, sanitizing wipes, all these little goodies in this blue packet. And I would take it out and I would still wipe my seat down. And someone asked me on the plane, they're like, I mean, they clean the planes, right? And I was like, yes, they do, but I'm not taking any chances. I cleaned my seatbelt, the tray table, everything, and then they let you dispose of it before the flight takes, sorry, my dog took off. Before the flight takes off. So yeah, so I personally felt safe and I cleaned the seats and the seatbelt and everything. And I had a smooth flight. And once you got off, there's different rules everywhere you go. Once you try to get back into New York, you will have to fill out a health survey if you've been doing anything reckless, like people partying without masks or doing all this craziness or whatever. You have to make sure and fill out a survey saying where you've been and all the precautions you've taken, if you've been in contact with anyone with COVID, if you feel like you have COVID symptoms, which I did not, and I've been negative this entire time, which is great. But you have to take your precautions once you fly and also after you fly. Everyone has their personal choice, but I would not risk it. So traveling during COVID has been pretty good. I can't complain. I felt safe, would do it again, but with the precautions. You have to take the precautions or you're gonna end up getting people sick, other people sick, or infect yourself. So that's how I personally feel. Let me know how traveling during COVID went with you.
This is just my personal advice. I am not a doctor or anything, but I'm just giving you my personal experience traveling on a flight. Overall, it was very good for me personally. I would do it again. I did feel safe, but you have to take the precautions and be actively trying to prevent the spread of COVID-19. If you're not preventing the spread, you will end up in a situation. So you need to make sure you have your hand sanitizer, you are sanitizing, you have your face mask, your face shield. You're trying to not be in contact with people as much as possible, social distancing, etc.